Good afternoon. Nice to meet you. First question. Your name is Kene Kaya?
No, my name is Alessandra.
Alessandra?
Yeah, I don't name
Uh,
brands after myself.
yeah, I saw your brand is talk about much indigenous.
Kene Kaya, it means the spirit of design in the native language of Shipibo Kanibo. The collection that I presented at Miami Swim Week, it's called Amazonia. So I wanted to reflect the beauty and the art from the Amazon. All of the accessories were from a tribe called the Awahun from the Peruvian Amazon. And I did a mix of embroidered, printed, and hand painted artwork with Peruvian artists that I always collaborate with. And they're from the Shipibo Konibo tribe. But the spirit of design, it's what the brand name means, and it's also kind of like the mission. We're trying to share the spirit of the Amazon of preserving indigenous art and culture with the poor.
So I like so much for idea. Why bring this idea of indigenous your brand?
It was something I was always passionate about. Well, for one, I've always loved art, and my family in Peru, both sides of my family, but especially my father, he was a historian. My grandfather and my father as well. He was always fascinated by art and different cultures in Peru because Peru is a very diverse, very rich country, and it has so many different indigenous communities. So my father always collected art and different handicrafts made by different indigenous communities.
He always like it.
Yeah, so that it was always part of my life, and they collected it across every civilization in Peru. It's in our homes. So I always really loved it. Another important part of it for me is the patterns of the designs, like I'm wearing right now. They're very specific geometric patterns, and these patterns
Okay.
have repeating frequencies. So it's clothes that has a lot of meaning, and the women who do them, they're artisans. They're from the Peruvian Amazon, but they emigrated to this community in Lima, basically to try to build a life in Peru and to be able to send money back home. And their whole financial stability depends on selling their art. So they're trying to build a future, for their families. And I was trying to find ways to preserve their art forms, which are ancestral art forms that have been passed down for many, many generations.
How was it to have your collection in the Miami Swim Week 2024?
It was a great experience. I think I had done Miami Swim Week the year before, and I only did 7 looks. So this was my first time.
All beauties, I like so much.
Yeah, this is the first time for me doing 20 looks, and I did both resort wear and swimwear. And it was actually my very first time doing swimwear. I hadn't done it before because for the longest time, I was just focused on doing the embroidered artwork for my artisans. It's either embroidered or hand painted. And each one is just one of a kind. It can't be mass produced. So only one will exist of that product in the world. And I was trying to get creative on can I do swimsuits with the prints of the artwork or like resort wear with the prints of the artwork. So I had the idea to do prints of the tribal geometric artwork. That's most of the bikinis. I had 2 pieces, the purple one and the green one, the jaguar, and the green one is for my hand painted, like a giant painting.
Very, very, I like
Yeah,
it.
so I wanted that on somewhere, and I had
I
these
like.
crazy ideas,
I,
and yeah, so I had them made in Peru. I had a few revisions and alterations, and I really loved how it came out. So the next thing for me, because it's indigenous art and I'm an indigenous fashion brand, is the representation of that art was very important to me, and I wanted the models to have honor for the pieces, and I really wanted the collection to be elegant. Miami is a very funny place. Like, have you seen
I
the
think, I
other
guess.
shows? So it's showing a lot of skin. That's most of the swimwear brands, But I wanted to make sure that my models and my collection was elegant, and it was presented in an elegant way, because they're presenting designs of deep spiritual meaning and historical and cultural significance. So for this swim week, I was really well prepared because this was my third fashion show that I've done. So I knew to prepare all of the models, and they had very specific instructions with how to walk on stage. I didn't want them smiling on stage.
I'm
Sure,
imagining.
yeah, I'm sure if you
I'm
saw that
imagining.
show, they're blowing kisses, they're flirting with the crowd, they're dancing. And I told them, listen, this is what the collection is. This is what it means. I cannot see that on stage. You cannot be blowing kisses on stage. You have to be serious, and always display elegance at all times while you're modeling and walking the runway. That was something that was really important for me. And most of them honored that for me. And it turned out to be very beautiful, better than I expected. Better press coverage than I expected. I wasn't expecting to get selected by New York Post as a top 30 designer. Then Forbes covered me as one of the top Latin swimwear brands, which is funny because I'm not a swimwear brand. But after Swim Week, everyone thinks I'm a swimwear brand. I do clothing, and I do different types of mediums that shows the artwork, right? And Miami Swim Week had asked me and invited me to be part of this year, and I was like, why not try doing swimsuits? So I did it, and I'm a swimwear brand. But overall, was a beautiful experience. Fashion shows are always very stressful, but I'm used to it, and I love everything.
It's a great event.
Yeah, it is. And you get to work with a lot of amazing people and meet amazing people, especially like the models. There's always like certain models that you will remember from a show because they had a calming energy. They were like positive and like happy to be there, and they were excited about what they were wearing. So those are always memorable, and you keep those relationships even after the show is over.
What is the vision and mission of Kene Kaya for the world?
Okay, so the mission of Kene Kaya for the world is I want to show everyone the beauty of indigenous art. It's not something.
It's so beauty. It's so beauty.
Yeah, it's something that's kind of started to be respected within Peru. But usually when you think of indigenous art, you think of the artisan markets that they have, like, the street markets that they have in Peru. And usually it's tourists and hippies that buy this work. But, I've always loved fashion. I've lived all over the world. So with fashion, I borrow from a lot of different cultures and styles and trends. And when I create, it's literally just what's in my head, how.
So these people is for the world.
Yeah, so I wanted to show how beautiful this is to the world. And I wanted to show that you can you can preserve traditional ancestral art forms and modern contemporary designs in a way that's elegant. I hadn't seen that done before in Peru in high fashion. Only from like very few designers. One of them I actually just did a runway show with, which was funny because she's always been an inspiration for me. So I never imagined to also be in a same fashion show with her and sharing the runway with her. But there's not many designers, Peruvian designers, that are bringing this out into the world and want to promote Peruvian cultural fashion. So Peru is really well known for its food, but not for its fashion. And that's something I want to change. And we have so many beautiful textiles from so many different communities across all over Peru. And I want to, be a platform.
Yeah, you want to show some different for the world.
Yeah, it's something unique to me. Like I was saying, like I've lived and traveled all over the world, and I always love getting lost in markets and seeing the art scene and the handicrafts of different countries and the different cultures. And I wanted to do something for Peru that would be appreciated outside of Peru. And when I first started it, people were like, that's a very niche. It's not going to work. And I'm like, no, I can make it
I
work.
see, I see.
I can make it cool. So my thing is like, I want to make cultural fashion cool. And, a lot of people, some people think fashion is wearing a t-shirt that says Dior. But to me, it's like, isn't it so much more special that you're wearing,
I understand.
right? You're wearing something that's hand painted by women who did it with a lot of love and made this handmade. And there's only one that exists in the world, and you're going to be at a red carpet event, and you're the only person that's going to be wearing that one painting, wearing like a luxury designer good or something like that. But at the same time, I wanted to have that quality of luxury design. So my concept was like having conscious fashion that's also luxury and elegant.
Okay, I like the answer. What are your expectations and plans for the future?
There's so many. There's the thing is like I get a lot of ideas in dreams. Like actually like
Okay.
sleeping, I get ideas in dreams, and I don't create by seasons. So like, okay, I need to create a fall collection or like the fall winter collection, the spring summer and so on. I don't operate by seasons. I just create whenever my heart is called to it. But as far as plans for the future, I want to, there's still like so much more work that I want to do with, especially the hand painted textile artwork from this tribe, the Shipibo Canibo. And then, like I was telling you, there's a lot of other indigenous communities within Peru. And there's another one, there's a part of Peru, like in the highlands in the mountains called Arequipa, where my father was from. And they have also very beautiful embroidery of textile artwork. So at some point, I would like to do a collection with this type of textile embroidery. And my father actually passed away. He passed away about a little over a year ago. So I wanted to do a collection honoring his memory. And he was someone who also dedicated his entire life to social justice. So if you've noticed, like a big mission of my brand is helping the women that are doing these pieces and doing a lot of social projects because they come from very poor, marginalized communities. So I want to be a voice and a platform for them and also help them within their communities. So I want to continue my dad's legacy in that respect. And
Very nice.
yeah, and do a collection, focus on that. At some point, I would love to do a show in Peru. I haven't done that yet. And I would love to do Paris Fashion Week someday.
I want you to. We can waiting you and Kene Kaya Miami Swing Week next year.
I'm not sure. So the collection that I just showed in Miami Swim Week was a preview of next summer, like a collection that I'm releasing. So those bikinis are currently being produced right now in Peru. So they haven't been released yet. So 2025, you can expect you'll be able to buy the swimsuits on my website, kenekaya.com. Hopefully expand to some boutiques and retailers in the US as well. Before I was mainly selling in Peru. Miami Swim Week was very fun to do. Extremely stressful, but I love the challenge. And I can't imagine not doing it next year. So we'll see. Like I might present some of the similar swimwear because that swimwear will already be selling on my website. But over the last few weeks, there was a big arts and culture fair in Peru last week. Our Peruvian Independence Day was July 28th. So they had this huge Peruvian arts and crafts fair. And I got inspired by seeing so many more designs of indigenous artwork. And then I was thinking in my head, I'm like, this would look good on a bikini. This would look good. And I love
Okay.
these necklaces, and this is how I would do it. So you never know, right? I might end up doing it. I had so much fun doing it this year. It was a great experience. I actually worked with the
I
music
imagine it.
producer. I don't know if you noticed the song. The song in the show was originally produced. It had the singing and the vocal. So it had vocals from one of the main artists who did the artwork for the pieces. And I got to work with this music producer, Michael Moog, and he did a beautiful, beautiful song. And it was just so special. And I think that also made it a very memorable show. So just everything artistic about it, I really love doing. So I might, I might do it next year.
So, Alessandra, thank you for your presence. I wish for you many good things for your future. Congratulations for you for all you do for your brand, for the peoples, for the world. Thanks for all.
Yeah, thank you. It was nice to meet you. Where are you based? Where do you live in Brazil?
Maceió.
I don't know. I don't know. I never
We have
been.
many beaches.
I've only been to Rio and Manaus.
Rio and Manaus.
Yeah.
So, did you like?
I love Brazil. It's one of my favorite
So,
countries in the entire world.
thank you for all.
Okay. All right. Thank you so
Okay.
much. It was nice meeting you.